Hello, hello. Today we have a really big collection to go over. I have been slowly making my way to this collection for about the past 2 weeks. I finally have finished using all the items, several times before I finally, come to a conclusion. But this is the Sinister Collection Box. This was limited edition. You cannot buy this box anymore. I don't think they're going to bring it back. This is from Cosmic Brushes. You can see right there it says Cosmic Beauty, and on the top it's upside down, but it says mystery box. This was a mystery box. This was a completely new collection in a mystery box that they came out with. You can't buy this collection anymore. From what I can see, you can still buy the blushes and the lipsticks, but this full collection and the palette is completely sold out. So I'm sorry about that, but let's see what we have here today. So this is a huge box. It looks like on the website this initially sold for $142. It then went on sale for $91, it looks like. But I bought this back in February, and in February I bought this collection for $78. So for $78 I got a palette, I got 3 lipsticks, and I got 3 cream blushes. So this is a pretty big box. It's like big, okay? It's wider than me, and it's metallic. So you open this up, you see we have this soft kind of material here. You remove it, and now you can see the full collection. That is the full collection. All 3 blushes, a palette, and 3 lipsticks. What part should we start with first? So maybe let's start with the lipsticks. Not expecting the box to come, well, I don't know, I guess I wasn't expecting it to be so fancy looking when I got it. So I was really nicely surprised. You can see here these lipsticks all say Cosmic Beauty. These are their Velvet Matte lipsticks, and it is the first lipsticks I've ever tried from Cosmic Brushes or Cosmic Beauty, and they were all really, really nice. We have Salem, we have Clarice, and we have Nancy. I think, listen, the formula for all of these were really good. They were really good. I like the colors. As a collection, I feel like this, I don't know. I don't know if I like this collection. And by that, I just mean I don't know if all these pieces go together and make sense. Singularly, they're good. Together as a collection, I'm finding it a little bizarre. So you can see it's, the names are at the bottom. You have, let's see, is this the ingredients? You have the ingredients for the lipstick on the side. And then on the other side, I guess have some sort of like trademarking kind of stuff. So this brand is from the UK. So this did come all the way from the UK, I believe. It's some really nice branding. On the back it says, our Velvet Matte Lipstick formula is ultra creamy and velvety soft, a non-drying matte finish that leaves your lips feeling comfortably smooth. It says it's non-drying in the sense that your lips will not feel dry, which they did not. But this does end up like drying down in the sense that it ends up being not as transferable as you think it will be. After like 2 or 3 hours of wear, there's like little to no transfer. It becomes almost like a liquid lipstick. There's like almost no transfer after a few hours wearing these lipsticks. I was really surprised. So let's start swatching. We have Salem, Clarice, and Nancy. So let's start off with Clarice. So Clarice, I have the lipsticks on the side, which by the way, you will be seeing my nasty fingerprints all over these mirror lipsticks. I'm telling you right now, that is crazy. You're gonna see my nasty ass fingerprints. It is what it is. There's not much I can do, okay? But let's look for Clarice. So this is Clarice, and look at that. It is completely all mirror all around. You have that CB on the top for Cosmic Brushes, Cosmic Beauty, and the name on the bottom. That is Clarice. So Clarice, which by the way, metallic lipsticks. Very, very cool. So it is metallic. It's got some nice heft to it. Does not feel cheap at all. Clarice is like the lightest shade. It is that foundation lip shade. If you're looking for that, that's what this is. It is so smooth. That's just with 1 pass, and then we'll do 2 pass, 3 pass. As you can see, it is very, very light. This is the kind of lipstick that you'll probably use for like an inner lip look. And for this collection, I was like, okay, this makes sense. It's really weird. And the name is Clarice, so that makes me believe this is from Silence of the Lambs, where her name is Clarice, the detective, and I guess you could say the villain in that film is, well, one of the villains is Hannibal. So it's just a weird kind of skin, fleshy, kind of purple-leaning shade. It is very light. This is, like I said, the shade where you want a lip liner and to fill this in your lips. Otherwise, I mean, if you want to look otherworldly, that's up to you. That's a choice too. And it did blend in pretty nicely with the lip liner. That's that first one. And for this collection, like I said, I was like, okay, it's a weird color. This is specifically a Halloween collection. This collection came out specifically for Halloween. So this is a Halloween specific collection. And then with the colors, I thought that the colors were, I guess you could say very gothic, very alternative, very dark. So that's why I wanted to pull this out. So the next shade I wanted to do was Salem. So Salem, I believe would have to do with Salem, Massachusetts. And this is an orange color, which I love because Salem, Massachusetts in the fall, beautiful orange tones. And this is a nice, deep orange brown. It is very pretty. Let's do one swipe. That's one swipe. 2, 3. That's a nice, deep, orangey brown. Very, very pretty. My thing with this shade, though, is that this palette, this collection, does not really have warm tones. This collection does not really have oranges or anything to really complement this orange shade. So this orange shade feels very left field. I think if maybe this all hadn't come in the box, I wouldn't have this idea that this is supposed to be like a collective, cohesive kind of collection. Like if it was loosely in a bag, I'd be like, oh, it's a mystery box, it's a mystery bag. It's all separate kind of items that are coming in the same bag, but this is supposed to be a collection. This shade I feel like does not go well with this collection. It doesn't make sense to me, and once you see the palette, I think you'll agree. But the last shade we have here is Nancy. Nancy, I believe, would probably indicate Nancy from The Craft. Nancy is famously one of the Hollywood goth girlies, super popular, and I think she's very well known for her dark lipstick. So this lipstick is like a very dark brown, like just like a kind of a espresso dark brown. And this is the lipstick all the way up, not too much, not too little. And these are all mattes, and they all feel incredible on the skin. So let's swatch this. Go 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. It's almost black, but you can still see some color there. There's a little bit of a plummy purple, there's some brown, so there's some warmth to these shades. I feel like these two have some purple in it. This is definitely a warmer shade. This feels kind of neutral, I think. Maybe a little warm, because I do feel like it has like a bit of a plummy purple kind of color into it. But otherwise you could just say it's a dark brown. So we have a good light, medium, and dark lipstick in here, so that is cool. Like I said, I love the formula. They are incredibly long lasting. I'm very just surprised to how really nice these lipsticks are. I'm just a little confused why they decided to put an orange lipstick in this collection. The blush butters, from what I can see, you can still purchase the blush butters right now. They look like they're usually on retail for $20, but you can buy it right now for $10. So I think for $10, that's worth it. These are really good. I really like the formula in here. I was surprised by some of the shades. So here is the packaging, and of course these little blushes are also going to be in that similar reflective silver packaging. Unfortunately, which I did watch 2 or 3 other people reviewing this collection from, you know, other YouTubers, other reviewers, Ready to Glow, and thankfully they did catch. And it was also something they pointed out, was that for some reason the boxes themselves don't, well, the boxes do, but the product itself doesn't have the names of the shades. So like the actual product doesn't, but the 3 that we have is Dazed, Heroin, and Got Chills. I have to pull up the website. I have this website up in front of me right now because the actual product unit does not have the names of the products, so it's gonna kind of mess me up as to what the names of the products are. But it says, our blush butter is a smooth, creamy formula developed to blend and melt right in, leaving a non-greasy but glowy finish. I totally agree with that. Very pretty shades. So let's see. I don't know in what order I'm opening these in, because they don't have a name. So on the back it just says Blush Butter, but it doesn't have a name on it. And then this is like the actual product. Super reflective. Literally almost just a mirror. Like, super reflective. So we're going to open up this first one. I have no idea what shade this is. So it looks like I have opened up... What shade is this one? Is this one not available? No, it is. This one's Dazed. This one is Dazed. My God. All of these have a little mirror in them as well. So there is a little... Oh, does that work? Okay. I hate for... Well, it's kind of reflective. I don't want that to mess up. So here is Dazed. You could say Dazed is kind of... Dazed is your darkest shade, I think. Dazed is the darkest of the three blushes. So I guess we're starting off with Dazed. You can see here, like I totally used it. I use a brush for my my cream blushes. And it's almost like a lip product. You can see how shiny and reflective it is there. It's hard to describe this shade. Let's see if there's like descriptions of this. It is a mid-toned red pink, is what the website is saying. So mid-toned red pink. This to me is the darkest shade in here. Let me see if I can bring it up. Oop. So this doesn't swatch the best, but I mean, it's supposed to be blended out and it's really pretty. So to me, this is the darkest shade for me. That's what I remember. This was the darkest shade in here. So that was Dazed. Right, next we have here is a purple blush. I think this was my favorite. I think Dazed, out of the three, was probably not my least favorite, but I would put it in the bottom. Like, obviously you have to put them somewhere. So I'd put that up as my number 3. I think this is my number 1. I don't really, because I don't have anything like this. Like, this looks probably really, really scary to a lot of people, this purple blush, and you're like, oh my God, what is that? What does that look like on the skin? Like, what is that? But this is such a pretty, like, gorgeous color to put on like my light medium tan skin girls. So this is the shade Heroine, and the Heroine is the purple one. And let's swatch Heroine. This one shocked me because I didn't know what to think of this. This does look purple on the pan, but blended out, I don't know if it's just color theory, but this ends up looking like a pink on my skin. Like, you can see that looks scary there. Camera died per usual, but this here is the actual shade, just like not blended out. And then I blended out a little bit up here just so you could see on my skin tone. Once blended out, this turns into a pink for me. So I think this just might be like color theory, where on my skin tone it doesn't really come out too purple. It kind of ends up being a really just pretty kind of Barbie pink on my skin, depending on how much I want to add. So obviously I added this here so you can see that is purple, but over here, once blended out, like, it just turned into a really pretty pink. Like, I didn't expect it to turn into a pink on my skin tone. So that's why I think this was my number 1, just because I was not expecting that to happen. And I think that was really cool. And I don't have any shade like this. So I'm really happy to have this. I'm gonna close that up and let's look at the last one. This is the last shade of these blush butters. This is in Got Chills. Got Chills is the lightest blush shade that we have in here. For a moment I thought, is this too light for my skin? I don't know. But I think this is, I feel like it's almost a little bit more white casting than my Ice Cream Boulevard shade from Jeffree Star. But it's kind of like that one. At first I didn't think I liked it, but once I put it on during like a full actual kind of glam look, I feel like it worked a lot better. So here is that one on my skin. I know that looks very white, right? So I want to add, let me grab a little bit more. And then, should we do my knuckle? I don't know what just happened, but let's maybe put it over here. So there's the shade. You can clearly see the shade there. I'm just gonna slowly kind of blend it out. My camera's starting to freak out. I don't know why it keeps turning on and off. Ghosts, perhaps? But here is that light pink. And once it's like blended out on my skin, it's a cute, pale, very girly pink. It's not as maybe wet casting as it originally kind of looked like. I think it just depends on how much you put on. With this shade, I put this on as my base, and then I did go in with my Morphe shade, which was more of like a plummy kind of mauve kind of color. And I put that on top, and I really liked blending that in together. But this is still pretty alright on its own. The shade probably may not do well on people who are tanner or deeper skinned than I. Because I do get quite light skinned in the winter, but I can still, you know, get a tan. So I'm in that in between, and I think that's why it kind of works. But I don't know if this color works for everyone, but for those other two, especially that purple. I think y'all should give that purple a try. That one was really pretty. So for the blushes, do I feel like the blushes fit the collection? Yes, I think all of these blushes fit the collection very well, especially since I hadn't really seen, I bought the collection without ever having seen, I think, a review of the collection. Here's my biggest gripe with this collection, and if you want to blame it all on me, you can, go ahead, but I feel a little duped. So when I saw this collection, I thought she was just giving strong, goth, girly, like, vibes. Because I saw the black and red packaging, and then I did see the palette inside. I do remember seeing the palette, and I thought it was very red, very black, very white. I've been using this palette for the past week, and I've come to realize this palette is very girly, very romantic, very pink and purple. So these shades absolutely go with the collection, but let's pull out the actual palette. Here we have the Sinister Palette. Looking at this on the outside, it's almost like a horror movie. There's a hand reaching out, like it's very spooky. It's kind of almost giving like 80s horror thriller, just very spooky. 20 color palette for eye and face. On the back, you'll have all the ingredient information and then the shades that they recommend to put on your eye or not put on your eye. So there is a mirror in there, a nice big mirror for you. It will not hold still. It's gonna have to, you know, it's made out of cardboard. This will open all the way back. It will not stay still up for you. But here is the palette. When I saw this, I was like, okay, so it's like smoky black and white looks with purple and red. Okay, got it. That's what I thought this was. This is not that. This is just a super, I would call it a super romantic vampire gothic palette. This is a lot more almost like the kind of gothy palette you would expect for Valentine's Day. Like, it was a lot more pink and a lot more purple than I thought it was. Like, once I actually started applying these colors, I was like, oh, this is not the smoky red, black, white fantasy I thought we were getting. This is a lot more of a pink and purple fantasy that I was not expecting. So my looks came out to be so much more purple and red than, I mean, purple and pink really, than I thought. So let's flip this over. Just get it out of the way. A lot of people from the videos that I watched before, while I was using this actually, were confused by this shade, Ghost. I think I was even confused when it initially came out. I'm like, why is there just like a nothing shade in there? But once I saw that there was a plastic here, I'm like, oh, because I already had seen that kind of goo, I guess you could say, from Melt Cosmetics, because it's supposed to make your eye look wet all day, I guess. I knew what it was, so it was kind of funny to see other reviewers not really sure what it was. But this is just something after you do your eyeshadow look, you apply it on top, and it's supposed to make your eye look super just wet the entire day. I put some on today, so I don't have a full like review as to what it, like, how it really acts, but what I can tell you is it feels like when I touched it, I wasn't expecting it, but it felt like glue. It felt like I put glue on my finger and I was putting glue onto my eye, and it is incredibly sticky. I don't think it dries down. I don't know what it's gonna do to my makeup, so I did a matte eye look on the eye that I put it on, and it kind of like blended all my shades together, so now it just looks like I kind of have like a light purple and dark edge eye. Like, I had put several colors on my eye and it kind of blended them all together. It feels very sticky. I can definitely feel it. I don't know if it's going to crease throughout the day. I mean, we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to put a note on that at the bottom of this video. So I don't know if I like Ghost. It's there. It is what it is. I thought it was kind of, you know, not necessarily innovative, but very fun, right? It's supposed to be a Halloween palette. It's a very fun shade to put in there. Now for the rest of these shades, like I said, very pink, very purple. We got purples right here. We have purples over here. We have these pinks over here, which are just lighter reds. Then we have these reds over here. We have a hot Cheeto red, and we have this more like wet cherry red, and then we have this beautiful like velvet red, which is nice, and then this beautiful like dark burgundy red. But it all still felt very pink to me. We have 3 very pastel light shades, 4 if you want to count Creepy, but Fear, Bone, and Paranormal, all very, very light. I wasn't expecting, I thought this was going to be darker, I thought it was going to be spookier. This is a lot lighter, romantic, Victorian vampire than I was expecting. Let's start off with, let's swatch over here. Let's do Strange. Strange was pretty. Strange I tried and I was like, I want this as a lipstick. Let's do Creepy. Let's do Fear. And let's do, should we do a dark shade? Oh, let's do this one, Omnibus. All the mattes in here are super pigmented. I didn't have any trouble with the mattes. The shimmers, I think I've had better shimmers in other palettes, but they did give you a good array of different types of shimmers, so I really like that. Ooh, look how pretty. These just all work so well. Look how nice and deep that is. Very nice pigmented colors. I do like them. I was just a bit, I guess it's all me. I thought this color story was a lot more darker and like vampy than I thought it actually is. So here's 4 shades. Like I said, I think Cosmic Brushes has some of the best matte shade formula out there. I love the pigment of this. I love the application. I love the way it feels. Truly buttery smooth. Let's do now some swatches of the shimmers. Let's do Shiver. And then we can do, let's do Eerie over here, because this is one of the shades that's different. And then we can do, how about, should we do, well no, let's do Warning. It's beautiful velvet red over here. And then we can do Sinister. Whoa. Really pretty. Okay, so we have this pink, pretty shimmery pink. We have this, it's almost like a disco color. It's called Eerie. I feel like I would have called this color like Ghost. This should be like the Ghost shade, because it has like this light lilac base with these like hollow shimmers in it. It's very unique. I have nothing like it. And then we have this beautiful, just this velvet metallic kind of red. I've seen this red in other places, but it's still very pretty. And then we have this amazing, what is this? A multichrome? A duochrome? Oh, did you see how that's swatched? Can I still get more out of it? That's crazy. That's the same color. There's so much pigment, and I still have some on my finger. Like, that is crazy. Look how much, like, my fingers are still shining. Truly beautiful shimmers. Different, I mean, you can tell this is a different formula from this one, that's a different formula from this one. A lot more variety. Some of the shades are a little too soft. Some of the shades are a little more flakier than the others. I personally like a little bit of more consistency. Like, it's cool to have all those different types of shimmers, but I just really do like just having just kind of one formula of shimmer in a palette. I feel like I'm starting to learn, so then I know what to expect when I'm doing my looks, instead of having a look in my mind of what I want to do, and then I go in with my brush into the shimmer shade, and then I realize, oh, this is too flaky, or this is too soft. I'm like, okay, I gotta change up my look a little bit. We gotta, you know, figure out how I want to use these. But now that I have 8 shades on my arm, I feel like you can see what I'm talking about. It's very pink, it's very purple, and the pink is just lighter red. So, I mean, I guess that's there, but I mean, I do really like these colors, but I think I'm just a little confused as to how I feel. I am glad that I have the entire collection. It was very well worth it, especially for the blushes and the lipsticks. I think those were my favorite parts of this collection. I would really love to know and get your opinion on this collection. Like, how does this collection make you feel? What do you guys think about the lipsticks? What do you guys think about this palette? Are you also surprised, now that I'm swatching it, to how, like, purple and pink this is? And you can see here, like I said, this Salem shade with what? I guess maybe the reds. You just do a fully red look with an orange lipstick. Like, that orange one, just, it stands out to me. Maybe they could have done a little bit more darker, spooky, goth, vampy vibes, but I feel like they have that actual, they do have a palette called Gothic, and that one is a lot more vampy. So I guess if you did want a Cosmic Brushes vampy palette, they've already made it. So, I mean, this is a very interesting surprise. I mean, it definitely threw me through a loop. It challenged me a lot more than my recent palettes have, because I did have to think about, like, where I wanted to put what. So for that, it's good. I absolutely love these blushes and these lipsticks, which I said, you know, they're still available if you're interested in these, and they're on sale. So I think you get them at 50% off right now. They're definitely worth it. I think for the palette, I don't know, I think I'm a little underwhelmed, because I'm like, well, girl, I already have a pinks and purples and red palettes. So I'm kind of like, did I really need the palette? I don't think y'all are missing out on this palette. If you didn't get this palette, don't feel bad about it. I think there's some I think there are better palettes that they still have available right now. I don't feel like you should get too much FOMO out of this, but I mean, that's the review on this. I'd love to know what you guys think. I love the packaging of this. It definitely felt very, very fancy, but what do you all think? Is this a good mystery box or not? Y'all have a great day.